So I'm just walking up to Real Groovy in Auckland, which is by far New Zealand's biggest record store. A lot of secondhand records in New Zealand get shipped up to this place, so there's always a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of gems. It's just quite a lot of work digging. Not because a lot of it's bad, it's just there's a lot to get through. So I'm meeting Ben Romley. You guys might know him from some of his posts. He doesn't make videos, but he comments quite a lot. Yeah, so I'll probably spend a few hours in here. My digging fingers ready. Alright, after walking uphill, I'm almost there. It's really hot and sticky here and kind of gross. But if you look behind me in 3, 2, 1. Oh, my head's in the way. Heading down to the basement. There's lots of records. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, the day after the dig with Ben. I had a really good time. We spent a few hours digging through Real Groovy. Found some really nice things, went for a drink afterwards. Gave Ben a couple of records. Yeah, had a really nice day and I picked up some really good stuff, and Ben was kind enough to give me a record that I was after that he passed up on. So we'll get to that in a few moments, but I thought I'd just quickly go through what I picked up. Again, I haven't listened to these yet, but I know most of them fairly well. It's something I've been wanting for a while. The Fall of This Nation's Saving Grace, which came out on Rough Trade in 1985. Now, this is a New Zealand original pressing, so super happy with this. It's got a bit of damage along the top, but the record is in really nice shape. But yeah, about the music, it's The Fall, but it's The Fall really punchy and dynamic, and yeah. It really should be more descriptive. It's The Fall. If you know The Fall, you know The Fall, you know The Fall, you know The Fall. They're just in really fine form here. Really tight, really punchy, really dragging along. Contains the track I Am Damo Suzuki, which will probably fit into that Embrace the Weirdness contest that was going around a couple of weeks ago, just for really strange song names. But yeah, super happy. What should we go with? This is an album that I completely skipped over when I first discovered The Clash. I was just into punk and cool things like that. Like I probably learned Sex Pistols, The Clash, and then I ended up moving to Joy Division, and I just completely, I listened to like London Calling and the debut album, and then I probably just moved on because I was learning so much, as you do when you're discovering a whole lot of music. I didn't bother listening to the later stuff. I think I probably heard like Should I Stay or Should It Go and Rock the Casbah, and I was like, not for me back then. And then I just skipped didn't bother listening to any of the later stuff. But then after Fred was still talking about the later Clash records in his 80s series, I sort of gave this another go, and I really enjoyed it. I really love the sort of roots reggae fusion into the punk thing. I think it just works really well. Comes with the insert, which is really nice. This is a Australian pressing, but the records are in super mint shape. So really happy to find that. But yeah, I've seen a few copies, and they've just been beat up to hell. It doesn't help that it's not really a gatefold, and there's 3 records packed in there. And then I also decided to pick up this one, which has probably been shown a million times. Another one that I've rediscovered lately, thanks to Fred and the videos. And I knew Straight to Hell. I did not know that this, obviously it was an MIA, did Paper Planes. I did not know that was sampled from this at all. So when I heard that, I was blown away. And Straight to Hell, I now love that track. It's really cool. This is peel the price sticker off. A record that I've discovered using Spotify, but I know a lot of guys on the VC would really be into this, especially like there's a lot of guys that are really into, like, I guess Anthony and Sonic Mainline and stuff are really into sort of modern psyche stuff. This is like a droney krautrock. They're basically like a Swedish psych band. This is just really heavy and repetitive, and there we go. The band's called Hills, and the album's called Frid. This came out, I think, 2015 on the Rocket Records label, which is the same label as Goat. So if that gives you an idea, it's not sort of has that world influence that Goat has, but it's really heavy psyche, bits of like Kraftwerk. I really need practice behind the camera. Kraftwerk. I still can't get it right. Krautrock. Yeah. So anyway, Frid Hills. If anyone's interested, it's on Crazy Green. There we go. There. Yeah, really recommend checking this out. Jesus Christ, I'm telling you, I'm out of practice. I'll do this off the camera. Yeah, earlier in the year I really got into the whole 70s Swedish, those Tried Grass Stenau reissues, and this record really does not fit back in the paper sleeve. And I really can't concentrate on what I'm saying to you guys while I'm doing this, because I can't multitask. Anyway, I hate these paper sleeves. I fucking hate them. They're just so poor quality. They scratch the records up. It's terrible. Anyway, this thing is really getting stuck in here. How embarrassing. Maybe the record's warped or something. It's really tight. But I got it out okay. Anyway. Maybe I'll edit this out. Maybe I won't. Anyway, I'll start again. Yeah, I was listening to like bands like Ragnarok and Kebzi Kanase. That's probably not how you pronounce these records at all. And yeah, Tried Grass Ox Stand Up. Completely butchered those. But yeah, those sort of like Swedish heavy psych rock records, and I can hear that influence in here because these guys are also Swedish, so it's sort of a modern day continuation, but not really. But what am I talking about? I was really excited to find this one, especially because I'm a really big fan of Lol Coxhill, which is here, and this guy here. He's a sort of a British free jazz avant-garde. He's more of an improvising saxophone player. He was sort of really floating around bits of like gong and the Canterbury scene. I think he played in Soft Machine for a while. I could be wrong. I played in Gong for a while. Or he played in Quiet Sun for a while. Or did he play in Caravan for a while? He played in one of those bands really briefly. I can't remember. He played in one of them with I think he was worked quite a bit with Pip Pile as well. Anyway, he was sort of around that scene, but he didn't really play in those bands. He ended up focusing a lot more on his solo work. Anyway, I can really highly recommend his album, Eye of the Beholder. Ear of the Beholder. Yeah, that's one of his solo albums, but it has this really, really interesting like British feel to it, like a playful, weird British feel to it. But it's like a free improv record, but it's really cool. I haven't got it on vinyl, but I'd love to get it. Yeah, Lol Coxhill, Ear of the Beholder. Anyway, so I haven't got any of the stuff on vinyl. I saw this, so I was really happy to get it. And the other guy on here is Steve Miller, who is a piano player who also played briefly in either Gong, Soft Machine, Caravan, or Quiet Sun. I can't remember. I read about this yesterday on the way home, and I've completely forgotten it, which is terrible of me. Anyway, apparently, I haven't listened to this yet, so I can't really say too much about it, but it sort of sits in that sort of like Soft Machine 7, that sort of like prog, jazz, funk vein on one side, and the other side is similar but a bit more avant-garde, which is more the Coxhill influence. So hopefully this is really brilliant. I was super happy to find it because I've known about it and I've been wanting to check it out. So yeah, Lol Coxhill, please check him out. I think he's really cool. I just love his Britishness in jazz. It's really interesting. So when I walked into the record store in Real Groovy, Ben had already got there, and he'd been there 5 minutes before, and he was already arms deep into the classical section. We made a joke that he was probably the only person who digged in there in the last 6 months, but he did actually pull out this, which I thought was really crazy. I walked into the store and he had this in his hand, and it's like a Steve Reich box set called Drumming. I was like, Jesus Christ. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, he wanted this, but he gave it a listen and it was a bit too dirty. To get the records I've been showing, I did a trade with the store, so I didn't spend any money. I did spend, on the stuff. I bought them originally, but I had to make up the credit. So I was like, I'm going to take a risk on this. I'll give it a wash, see how it goes. Yeah, as a piece of music, this is absolutely a seminal, as a modern classical record. It's really, really beautiful. Moves really slowly, and just please check it out. That's all I can say. So that was that from the Really Groovy haul. I also went to Southbound Records, which I'll show you some footage of now. Hey guys, about to walk into Southbound Records, which is in Newton, Auckland. It's a fairly new-ish record store in terms of New Zealand record stores. It moved locations about 6 months ago. They sort of have a lot of new stuff and a fairly decent second-hand collection. I'll try and get some footage inside if I'm allowed to, but yeah. So here we are. You can't really see Southbound Records. See you guys soon.
We've got any of the Wi-Fi super cleaning with the material system here. Just the wobble, so not the head. Yeah, this is for a record cleaning. You can use it just by hand, or as I say, you can utilize a record cleaning machine. Yeah.
So I only picked up 2 things from here, but 2 things I'm really happy with. This record here, I think this was shown when it came out 2015, quite a lot. I've sort of been after it for a while, but they had the secondhand copy here really cheap on the Honest John's label. This is Moritz von Oswald Trio Sounding Lines. It's like a electronic record, but it has these really nice flares of percussion. I think Tony Allen, which explains it, is the drummer on here, and he has this really natural flair to the drums that really make it breathe. And it's like an electronic record, but it has this organic, I don't know how to describe it. It's this really weird mix between African and electronic, but in this really organic, nice way that flows. It's really cool. Yeah, I really want to pick up that one that came out last year with a dude from Cybertron, which name I've completely forgotten. But that's quite an expensive record. Anyway, really cool. Beautiful artwork too. Is it a sleeping bag or something? I'm not really sure what it is, but yeah, I can highly recommend this one. 2LP. And the last one is a New Zealand record. So this is 1.1 Live by Mael Manzanza. I caught this guy live a couple of weeks ago. There's a bit of talk about this on one of the Facebook pages. It's a really cool jazz funk fusion record, absolutely on fire. This guy's really leading the charge in New Zealand jazz at the moment, or at least that jazz funk fusion sound. There was a conversation on the Facebook page with a couple of people about this was recorded in LA, and Asher was saying that he knows a couple of guys in this record, which is really cool. So yeah, there you go. I can highly recommend this. Jump online. I think there's a Bandcamp link. Really nice guys. Well, I've met him a couple of times now, and I'm a huge fan of him. So yeah, absolutely crazy good drummer. There you go. 1.1 Live. So yeah, that was everything. Next time you see me, I'll be back home in Wellington, and I'll be able to show you my new setup, and I'll go through some stuff that I've picked up while I've been down there. Hope you're all well, and I'll talk soon.